Welcome back to the BJack 70 show. I'm your host, Brandon Jackson. And first things first, we got to get it out the way. We got to say, fuck Geno Auriemma. Just straight up. Um, how he acted over the weekend, losing to South Carolina. South Carolina ended up going to the championship, losing to UCLA. Shout out to UCLA winning their first women's basketball championship. Shout out to South Carolina, Dawn Staley handling the moment with grace. Being just a top-notch human, top-notch organization, top-notch program. But we need to discuss Geno Auriemma and really what happened. What happened? Actually, it doesn't matter what happened. Handshakes, whatever. He was mad. He lost. Whatever the case may be. No excuse to behave in that manner. And I've been a UConn women's basketball fan for a long time. Paige Beckers is currently probably my favorite just basketball player in general right now. Diana, I call Diana Taurasi my GOAT. I've been rocking with UConn women's basketball for a long time, and I've been a fan of Geno Auriemma. I've been an advocate of his program, him being the top-notch guy in college basketball, women's or men's. And to be frank, what he did doesn't change that. Like, his legacy is still intact. But it doesn't mean that I have to be a fan of his going forward. And I know I'm just one person. Who cares if I'm not a fan anymore? But whatever small platform that I have, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to say what I feel. And you just can't do that. It would be unacceptable if he did that to a white man coach on the other side, but the fact that he acted like that and threw a temper tantrum and lost his marbles like that across from Dawn Staley, who is an amazing Black woman, an unbelievable basketball coach, unbelievable basketball player, unbelievable steward for the game of basketball as a whole, and just a role model, a great person. Like, you picked the literal worst person on earth to throw this temper tantrum at, against, in front of, whatever the case you call it. Dawn Staley has to be one of the few people on that can bring the internet and social media together to look at Geno Auriemma and say, you messed up. You need to apologize. You need to make this right. Not even for her sake, but for your own sake, because you're embarrassing. And like I said, Dawn Staley handled it with grace, didn't want to take the moment away from her team. She was asked about the piss poor statement that Geno put out on Saturday after the championship game, and she said she didn't want to talk about it, wanted to let UCLA have their moment, which was absolutely the right thing to do. She handled it with as much class as you could possibly handle it. So shout out to her. We all ride for Dawn Staley. Like, we all get into formation for Dawn Staley. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's unbelievable. Multiple national championships herself. If you want a fun deep dive, just go to her either basketball reference or Wikipedia page and just see the things that she was doing. She was coaching college basketball while still playing in the WNBA, which is like mind blowing. You're a professional yourself, and you're a professional at coaching and leading the youth and recruiting. And it was a different time back then. But she's recruiting and playing basketball, and it's really unbelievable. The time that she, the season that she's coaching in, doesn't really have time to get ready for her own season, but she still gets ready for her own season and is a great player every year in her own right. It's just an unbelievable story of just dominance in coaching, dominance as a player, perseverance, uh, discipline, stick to itiveness. And Dawn Staley is the bastion of what it means to be in the world of basketball. I didn't want to say a basketball player, but as somebody who is a steward of this game, she's elite. She's top level. She's one of the best that we've literally ever seen. And what how Geno acted after that game was just abhorrent. I'm just gonna be frank with it. But like I was saying, it doesn't change his legacy. It doesn't change the fact that he's won God knows how many national championships at UConn, put however many women into the WNBA, how many accolades his players have won. It doesn't change that he's still the best coach, college women's basketball coach, college basketball coach, however you want to phrase it. He's still the best or one of the best of all time. But it's really unfortunate that me personally, I'm gonna have to not be a fan of UConn women's basketball going forward. Because the statement, didn't acknowledge his wrongdoing after the fact at the press conference, and then put out a statement the next day. And it was an apology, but the apology did not address by name the person that it needed to go to. He apologized to South Carolina and the staff, apologized for embarrassing his own team, but he did not mention Dawn Staley in that statement, not even going to respect it and call it an apology. He did not mention Dawn Staley's name in that statement, and you can't really come back from this. And what I mean by you can't come back from this, not that he's going to get fired or there's not going to be any serious repercussions from it, but just how he's going to be perceived. He's always been this kind of prickly, asshole-ish, dickish kind of guy in the media, but it was okay because he's winning, and he's winning at a high level. He's winning every single solitary year at a high level. So you can do that. You can get away with that. But you're not going to be able to get away with that when you're doing it to somebody who, if she wants to keep doing this, she's going to be at that level. She is your peer. And you can't just do that to her. I don't know if you thought that you're that much, if you're bigger than the game, you're just that guy to where you can just act however you want to act, and then the next day not even mention her name in the statement. That's just not going to work generally for anybody in 2026, especially when the wronged party is Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley has been beyond reproach. She's done amazing work with all of her student athletes that she's worked with, got to graduate from South Carolina, brought into the program, and made them better basketball players and better people. She's done that in every step of the way wherever she's been. And I just wanted to come on and say that because I've been a huge UConn women's fan. I support them. Like I said, Paige Becker's my favorite basketball player out right now. I love Sarah Strong, love AZ Fudd. This was my team. This was my team, and now I'm gonna have to rethink this because I cannot, in good conscience and good faith, support that guy anymore. After seeing, it's one thing how you conduct yourself in the moment. You lost your temper, you lost, whatever. But to gain some clarity and to not really apologize the night of at the press conference, and then the next day to release a statement and not mention Dawn Staley's name, you feel some kind of way. So if you're going to feel some kind of way, I'm also going to feel some kind of way. And again, I didn't go to UConn. I'm not a booster. It's no skin off their back, but I just can't do it anymore. I'm going to support the young women on the team. Like they're great. They had an excellent season. They just ran up into another great program that it wasn't their night. Didn't shoot well from the field. It happens. It happens, unfortunately, and they lost. But congratulations to the players and the rest of that coaching staff. They had a great season. They have nothing to be ashamed of. Anytime, even if you are UConn, the UConn women's basketball team, you make it to the Final Four, you're doing, that's an accomplishment. Even with however many times you've been there, however many championships you win, making it, there's a reason they give out banners for the Final Four, and making it to the Final Four is still an accomplishment. So congratulations to them on a good season. But yeah, it's gonna have to be a wrap for me with Geno Auriemma straight up. So, but yeah, just had to get that out the way first of all. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the BJX 70 show. You're still watching, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, post, share, retweet, quote tweet, whatever you can do. Post it on your story, get the podcast out there, help it grow. And I thank you in advance for going ahead and doing that. Next up, staying in the women's basketball, Angel Reese got traded from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream for 2 first-round picks. First round pick, I think this year and next year, or 27 and 28. I don't remember. And I don't have it pulled up, but she got traded to the Dream. Dream didn't give up any players. It feels like a fleece from the Dream to the Sky. The Sky, it was probably time to make the move, given Angel's comments last season about needing to get great players in the building, or she was going to move on. Talking about that she needed a point guard on the team. She got suspended for 1 half due to those comments officially, but didn't play again after those comments were made. Angel had to apologize to the team after that, but they kind of, swept it under the rug. It was the end of the season. They didn't make the playoffs. So it hadn't really been a big talking point since it happened. But her getting traded brought it back up, and kind of feels like this was going to be the move as soon as they could get something done. Did they get a fair price for Angel Reese? Probably not. I mean, 2 first round picks is 2 first round picks. But for whatever you want to say about Angel Reese, she is a literal walking double-double. She's going to rebound that ball. She led the team in scoring in 2025. So whatever you want to say about Angel Reese, she was their best player. She was their franchise player. So I don't think I definitely don't feel like they got the value from her that maybe they could have gotten if I don't know, waited a little bit, but clearly the season is going to start ramping up here soon. They wanted to make this move, wanted a fresh start. But Atlanta's going to love her. Atlanta's going to love her. Like they sell out, they sold out like tickets or like jerseys or something. Like I apologize, I didn't write it down, but they, Atlanta Dream fans are, or like the prices are going up because they're buying tickets, they're registering for season tickets, they're trying to buy all the tickets that are available to these games because they want to see Angel Reese. Angel Reese, for whatever you want to say, she is a pretty popular WNBA player. And she's good. She was an all-star. She's on team, like she's in with Team USA. Like she is a very good basketball player. So shout out to the Dream for making this move. They're going to be a must-watch team, a must-see like event in Atlanta. Everybody is going to be out at these Dream games to see Angel and the rest of the team because the Dream are a good team. The Dream were, I think, third in the standings in 2025, if I read that correctly before. So shout out to Angel Reese. Shout out to the Dream. The Sky, I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't know what y'all gonna do. But I guess good luck to you guys going forward. Whatever. All right. Staying on the basketball topic, there's a week left in the NBA season. And actually, before I get to that, I'm recording this Monday evening before the national championship game. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably talk about that later in the week. But as of right now, it's Michigan versus UConn in the national championship game. I don't know what's happening. It hasn't happened yet. Hasn't started yet. Still a few hours away. So that's why I'm not talking about it. But yeah, like I said, week left in the NBA season. Cleveland Cavaliers are currently in fourth in the East, a game behind the Knicks as I record this. I think the Knicks play on Peacock tonight. As I record this, the Cavs play in Memphis tonight. And the Knicks have the tiebreaker against the Cavs. And that is important because if they finish with the same record, the Knicks and the Cavs are essentially both fighting for the 3 and the 4 seeds. And I think they're probably both trying to fight for the 4 seed. The Cavs tonight aren't playing anybody. I think the only normal starter that's playing is Evan Mobley. James Harden is out. Donovan Mitchell is out. Jared Allen is out. Like we, as the Cavs, are trying to get that number 4 seed because of how the standings go. Detroit is most likely going to finish in the 1 seed, and if they win in the first round and the Cavs win in the first round, if they're the 4 seed, they'll play each other. The Cavs would much rather play the Pistons in the second round than the number 2 seeded Boston Celtics in the second round. So are they going to try to keep losing on purpose? Yeah, I feel like they are. I feel like they definitely are. And is that a good move? Yes. Yes, for sure. When it comes to the NBA, you want to stick around as long as possible. You want to make sure that you can get the best possible matchups, like within reason, because you never know what all could happen. But in this scenario, they're already in the 4 seed. If they can make sure that they stay in that 4 seed to see Detroit in the second round, I mean, actually, this is pretty presumptuous that the Cavs would make it to the second round to face the Pistons, because if they're the 4 seed, they're going to play the Hawks. And I think the Hawks have beat them twice already this season. And they play the Hawks 2 more times in this last week. And I don't believe that the Cavs are going to give them any kind of real look at what they have. So we'll see what it looks like if they do end up playing the Hawks in the first round. But I have once again high hopes for this Cleveland Cavaliers team. We'll see what James Harden is in the playoffs. We know what Donovan Mitchell can do in the playoffs. We just want to get Evan Mobley healthy, get Jarrett Allen healthy. As long as we can be healthy, we should dispose of the Hawks. And it probably won't be easy. It won't be a sweep. It'll be 5. It'll be 6. But I do believe we'll be able to get that done. And then in that next round, as long as the Pistons take care of business, I think we can get them as well. I saw my guy Rel on Twitter asked what would be a successful season for the Cavs this year, and I said it would be successful, obviously, if they win the championship. It would be successful if they made the finals and they lost to whatever Western Conference team that they played. And I think, given how the team looks, I think it would still be a success if they were able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they lost to Boston in like 5, 6, or 7. Anything short of that, I'm going to be disappointed. If they lose, obviously, if they lose in the first or the second round, if they play Detroit, if they play the Hawks, if they lose in that first or second round, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be ready to clean house. If they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and let's say they happen to play the Knicks, if they lose to the Knicks, I'm going to be upset. And really, if they got to the Eastern Conference Finals and they lost to Boston in 4, I would be upset with, because you couldn't at least get one game. You couldn't at least get one game in Cleveland. So I would be upset with anything less than them losing to Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals in like 5, 6, or 7. Which I think is reasonable. I think is reasonable expectations for this team, because we, as presently constituted with the Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley core, now we don't have Garland, we have Harden, but with these guys around, haven't gone past the second round. They have to get past the second round. Absolutely have to. And depending on who's there, do a little bit more than that. But I have high expectations. I'm expecting this to happen. I don't care what the seeds say. I don't care what the Vegas odds say. I don't know if we would be an underdog or not against if we played the Pistons in the series in the second round. I don't know what Vegas odds would say, but I'm expecting to win that. I'm expecting to win in the first round. I'm expecting to win in the second round. And I'm expecting to not be an easy out or win in the third round. Getting to the finals is a success. The West, there's some dogs over there in the West. You got Wemby going crazy, and you got OKC and the refs doing their thing over there. So it would be interesting if they got to the finals, and that would be a success either way. But I'm looking forward to really getting this week over with. I'm probably not interested in seeing what the Cavs are going to put out there on the floor as a product, because I'm sure they're not really trying to win. So I'm not even going to worry about what happens this week. But yeah, next week, getting into the play-in, and probably next weekend, starting the playoffs. I'm excited for that. Switching gears, and last thing I'll talk about here today, Lamar Jackson is present for the first day of off-season workouts, and there's however many teams had new head coaches, they get to start their off-season programs early, about 2 weeks earlier than everybody else does. The Browns are starting theirs on Tuesday, so you'll probably see a lot of news going out about that when this episode is dropped. But today on Monday, Lamar Jackson showed up for off-season workouts, and that is newsworthy because this is something that he usually has not done with the Baltimore Ravens. He'll show up to everything that's mandatory, but if it is not legally mandated for him to be there, he usually hasn't been there. But he's there now. New head coach Jesse Minter. Lamar showed up. Lamar was on time. He was bright and early, ready to put the work in. He, like they showed, I saw clips. He was going hard on the field in the weight room. And that's not surprising. Like, I know he's a hard worker, but I had never really, you don't really ever see Lamar Jackson like sprinting. Even in these football games, like, he's running fast, but like I've never seen him like full send it. And there's a couple of clips of him like doing agility drills, going full speed, and it was, I don't want to say shocking, but like he's an unbelievable athlete, obviously, but it was pretty cool to see him going 100% for sure in these off-season workouts. But I thought it was newsworthy because he doesn't ever do that, and it's kind of signaling like he knows it's put up or shut up time. New head coach. The reason that he has a new head coach is because they haven't been getting it done in the playoffs, and it's on him. It's on him now. It's not going to be Harbaugh's fault. It's going to be nobody's fault but Lamar Jackson. And I'm, as somebody who is a fan of Lamar Jackson's, I'm okay with that. I like that, and I want that to drive him to become an even better version of himself, which is already a Hall of Famer, already a 2-time MVP, multiple-time All-Pro. As a Browns fan, I'm nervous. Makes me a little bit nervous. I don't want him to have any chips on his shoulder. I don't want him to have any extra motivation, but just as somebody that loves football, I love to see it. Love to see him there. Love to see him leading his team by example. The team and the organization, we already know, absolutely love him. The guys on this team always, every single one of his teammates, you can tell, will go to hell and back for Lamar Jackson. And I appreciate him, taking that seriously and being in the building. So good luck to them. But anyway, that's the podcast. That's this episode of the podcast. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys liking the video, hitting that subscribe button. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.